Well, good evening, lovely ladies and gentlemen. Steve Collins coming to you from beautiful, cold, rainy San Antonio, Texas, the second most powerful, passionate, and purposeful coach and speaker in the world. I hope you guys are having a fantastic day today. I have something to chat with you about today, and I'm going to ask for your help. If you are currently raising, or have raised, or know somebody who is raising 6 kids successfully, please reach out to me so we can chat a little bit. My beautiful bride's birthday is tomorrow. Yep, she's a New Year's Eve baby. And one of the things that she wanted for her birthday is, of course, at Christmas time years ago, we changed from things to memories. We changed from things to memories, simply meaning that we were not going to buy things that were wasteful and stupid, but we were going to do things to create memories with our kids and in our family by going places. So she wanted to do a getaway, and she had a very clear agenda for several days worth of exercises that would be done in the morning in order to create opportunity for our children to receive what it has taken us decades to learn, and literally hundreds and thousands of dollars invested in ongoing education, personal growth, and development over those last 2 decades. It's our desire to impart. We have a son who's signed up for the Navy, and so this may very well have been the last Christmas where they're all under one roof, so she wanted to go out with a bang. Now, let me tell you a little something about this, okay? It's difficult when you are an adult and you desire personal growth and personal development. I can feel my, baby, I can feel my blood pressure. I'm about to pull over. Let me take a deep breath here. One of the things my friends and family members and feedback I hear on Facebook that people appreciate about gray-haired Collins is this: what you see is what you get. I ain't ever gonna fake or front or act about anything. Everything that you see is genuine, sincere, and authentic, period. That's it. The good, the bad, and the ugly. Okay, so here's what I want to bring with you tonight. In any family dynamic, okay, there's always that moment when everything comes back really on the father. In other words, things that have gone wrong, wounds that have taken place, pain that has been created is typically come from Papa, because very few people are, I don't know, I've asked my kids, who do you know that has a normal family? And when they're pressed, they're like, I don't know anybody. In fact, most of my kids are all from divorce, my friends at school all come from divorce homes, and different parents and different things going on, and daddy, maybe it is, it's just like, crazy is just kind of the normal sometimes. Now, that doesn't make things right, and that is no excuse to acquiesce to the flesh or weakness or a lack of commitment. Is a marriage, is a family high maintenance? Is it? Well, you're dadgum right it is, but it becomes less high maintenance as you move from being low effort. I have a lot of guys that I know that will just say, man, my wife, my girlfriend is just so high maintenance. And I love to tell them, maybe she's not high maintenance. And they say, what do you mean she is? I said, no, maybe you're just low effort. Maybe you're a low effort husband. Maybe you're a low effort boyfriend. Maybe you are just not putting in the work. Maybe you are expecting to have your needs met and be comfortable. Maybe you weren't signed up for the sacrifice. It's kind of like the people that join the military many times, like, I'm going to get free dental, I'm going to get free medical, I'm going to get my college paid for, and I'm going to have a guaranteed paycheck. And they forget to tell you that you might wind up on this side of the earth getting shot at, right? There's that aspect to it. You're signing up for war. And when you're not in wartime, awesome. Many people sign up for relationships and really just have no idea what they're signing up for. So my charge and challenge tonight, and my confession to you, is this: holy crap, was that hard. That was one of the hardest things I've ever done, was to go several days in a row. And Angela was the one leading the show. She was amazing. She did a fantastic job doing it. She led that whole thing, and yet she and I are warriors, and we're raising warriors. which means my kids are just as loco as me and Angela. And so they are like little lions and lionesses. If you ever seen that National Geographic where the lions just, man, I just ate. I'm just trying to mind my own damn lion business sitting here. And the little cubs are like, and the lion's just like, man, you know, just back off, just like stop, just swatting them away until it can't take no more. And then it's just like, rah! And they're like, holy crap, it's the lion. So, yeah. Did I do that? Yeah. That's why I would like to meet somebody who hasn't. That's why I'd like to meet somebody who's got this thing figured out and who's doing well. Because I'll tell you what I'm doing right now, guys. I have two choices. I can be a wussy and say, it's just too damn hard. It's just too hard. I don't know what I'm doing. I've never raised 6 kids before. It's just too damn hard. Or I could say, I don't know what I'm doing, and I would trust God to give me the grace to do what I do know how to do. It's kind of like those people that say, there's so many contradictions in the Bible. I just don't, there's so many contradictions. There's contradictions. I don't even, that's fakey stuff. And I say, okay, great. So what you're saying is you're a wuss because you're throwing out the baby with the bathwater, right? Because there's several things you don't understand, you're blowing off the things that you clearly understand. Wuss. Wrong answer. No, sir. I know what it means to love God with all my heart. I know what it means to love people. I know what it means to forgive. I know what it means not to steal, not to commit adultery, not to lie. I know these things. So I tell you what I will do. I'm going to do the things that I do know while I'm trying to figure out one day in the sweet by and by what I have not yet learned and do know. So I am not going to blow off the whole thing because I don't understand it all. And it's the same thing with kids and family. It's the same thing. Because most people, you're doing this for the first time. In other words, let me just say someone that maybe has an 11-year-old son and maybe a 15-year-old daughter. Next year, he's going to be 12 and she's going to be 16. You have never raised a 12-year-old boy and a 16-year-old daughter. And the next year, he is going to be 13 and she's going to be 7. You have never raised a 13-year-old boy and a 17-year-old daughter. They change. You change. Most of us are freaking winging this thing, okay? We're winging it. And, you know, I take great comfort in the voice of John Maxwell. I thought it was really, at first I thought, I didn't know John had a little bit of hood up in him. I didn't know that. You know, I thought I was the only one. It was one of these speakers that got some hood back up in there that keeps it covered up most of the time. When he said, and I'll do my best impression of him, you know, I remember thinking that grandchildren are God's gift to you for not killing your kids. And I thought that was pretty damn funny. He said grandchildren are God's gift to you for not killing your kids, right? And I thought, John Maxwell, all right. I think about Billy Graham and Franklin Graham when Billy was alive and he was changing the world, how Franklin went off and started using drugs and alcohol and got messed up, and then he came back in line. And I think about people that I consider to be great folks who have challenges in relationships. Jesus himself only had 12 really close guys, and one of them was a tool. Judas, right? I mean, even the Son of God had to deal with crazy, right? So what is my point? My point is simply this. You have got to be able to look yourself in the eye at night and say, I gave my very best, even if your best is messy, even if your best is jacked up. You know, I think the most poignant moment this weekend was when all the kids are going crazy. They were not listening. They were just yakking and fighting, arguing with each other in this moment of growth. And I just did my lion growl like I had confessed earlier. And they kind of stopped. And I said, I want you kids to understand something. I said, the easiest thing for your father to do right now, the easiest thing for your father would have been to tell your mother, no, I don't want to do that. It's hard enough being a coach, coaching grown men and women who want to grow and want to learn and want to change and are paying damn good money to have the opportunity to grow as I have. When I say hundreds of thousands of dollars, I ain't even playing, man, in the last 2 decades. I've spent more on my personal growth and education than I have on my house and my cars, and I have cool cars. I have invested a lot into becoming all that I could possibly be to give God enough resources to use me to touch as many lives as possible. And it's hard enough pouring that out to adults that want that. let alone an audience of people who just, I want to hear it, your dad. I don't want to hear it. And I said, kids, just so you guys know, and this might have gotten through to them, might not have. I said, just so you guys know, the easiest thing for me would have been to have avoided this weekend and to tell your mom, baby, it's your birthday. I have a feeling I know how this is going to turn out. And I'm a very positive guy, but I'm also realistic. And an audience of people that don't want to hear this, that aren't like, hey, this is great. You're going to impart hundreds and thousands of dollars and decades of wisdom to us to give us the tools to succeed in life later. Yeah, that's not how they're showing up. They're showing up like, what? I said, kids, the easiest thing for dad to do would have been to tell mom, no, we're not going to do that. Kids, y'all are going to stay home. Me and mom are going away for a week. We're going to celebrate her birthday. The easy thing for me to do would be to disengage and to avoid and to isolate, because I don't want to be a part of any of that negativity, which when the crap hits the fan, many times it's like, well, when I was 5 years old and dad did this and that's why I'm screwed up, which that always happens. Happened to my poor daddy when I was in freaking rehab when I was like 15 years old, I mean, it was me for sure, but I was like, Dad, it was because of you. It always comes back to that. Very rarely does it come to mama, because no matter how crazy mama gets, she was connected to them, and there's just a very different type of connection with a mother and a child than many times there are with a father and a child, for the most part, generally speaking. And I said, you guys have to understand something. When you leave my home, I need to know, selfishly, that I gave the very best that I had to you, and that I was willing to walk into the fire for you, and that I was willing to take the heat for you, and that I was willing to feel small and insignificant and just beat up for you. I'm willing to do that. That's my place in this relationship, is to accept responsibility for the good, the bad, and the ugly, and to accept responsibility for all of my mistakes, and to accept responsibility for all my shortcomings, and to impart to you, God willing, an example that you will then remember when it comes time to our grandchildren coming around, if God so blesses you with a mate and you have children. Your mom and I are modeling for you that we're willing to do the hard work. We're willing to show up and blow it. We would rather show up and blow it, which she didn't, and I did most of the time. We're willing to show up and blow it rather than just blowing it off and walking away. Because I said, kid, let me tell you, it'd be a hell of a lot easier right now if I wasn't here having this conversation with you guys. It'd be a hell of a lot easier for dad to just be doing something else and avoiding all of this pain. And I said, and tell your parents, you will never know the pain, and you'll never understand the pain of giving your very best to your kids and feeling like it's still not enough. I said, you won't know that until you're a parent. And then, of course, they laughed and was like, hey, Dad, which hurt even more. It's like, the knife and then spinning it around. But here's what I'm going to tell you guys. I don't regret a thing. I don't regret a damn thing. I don't regret a thing. Because at the end of my life, I am going to be able to look myself in the mirror and say, you gave your very best. It was messy, but you gave your best. It wasn't cool. It was your best. It wasn't amazing. It was your best. And I studied to be better. And I'm learning to be better. And I'm reading to be better. And I'm mentoring to be better. And I'm working to be better. And I'm in relationship to be better. And I'm learning and growing and growing and learning to be better and better and better. I am not giving my minimum daily requirement, and I am not playing not to lose. Well, let me just survive here and see if I can keep the family together and keep the kids, out of jail and shit like that. I just want to come home, have me a burger, watch some Cowboys or something. No, man, no. I'm coming home and I'm having conversations. I'm being challenged by my kids with things that I don't want to hear about. I'm being confronted with things that embarrass me, with duplicity that I struggle with from time to time, my ability to be so patient with everybody else and impatient when I feel disrespected by my kids, and you know, my ability to move from super cool chill pops to escalating to, well, yeah, maybe when I have to tell you to do the same freaking thing 8 times in a row, I might raise my voice and get a little more intense. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I haven't figured out a way to not do that. Working on it. What is my point, ladies and gentlemen? My point is this. Don't run from it. Don't run from it. Don't run from your responsibility. Don't run from your parenting. Don't run from the hard conversations. Run to those things. You run to those things. You run to them. You run into the battle. You run into the battle. You face the fire. You do your best, and you trust God for the rest, because you partner with the good Lord. He will not do your part, and you cannot do his part. Yet if you will do your part, you can trust he will do your part. The joy I took away from this weekend that I told Angela was this. She goes, how do you think it went? And I said, well, I didn't have a heart attack and I didn't hit anybody. So that's a win for me. And number 2, I said, in all sincerity, we planted significant seeds that God will water and fertilize and bring increase to. And we will know that when our children leave this home, we will be able to look each other in the eyes and say, we did the very best that we could with what we had and what we knew, and we didn't settle for where we were. We learned as much as we could, and we continued to pour out to them. And we continue to pour out to them. So if you're a parent, let me encourage you. If you're a parent with 5 teenagers in your house, please don't drink as much alcohol as I did. I had to stop drinking because I remember one time somebody says to me, you know, what's the most expensive part about having such a big family? And I said, all the wine you got to buy. Yeah, Jesus' first miracle. Man, let me tell you, sometimes you just got to face the pain, deal with it, do your very best, and make sure that you have the self-respect to know that you really did give your very best. That you really did give your very best. So it didn't have the result that you wanted? Did you do your very best? So it didn't turn out the way that you wanted? Did you do your very best? So you didn't have this vision come to pass that you thought was going to go a certain way? Did you do your very best? If you can say, I did my best, then you leave God all the rest and trust that he'll work all things out together for your good, because he sees your heart. You see, I saw somebody post something the other day that said, somebody was like, that guy's a Christian, he sure doesn't act like one. And God was like, I'm glad for that, because I ain't looking for no actors. You know what I'm saying? Life is life. Life is messy. Doc Holliday, Wyatt Earp. Wyatt says, Doc, all I ever wanted to live was a normal life. And Doc said, there is no normal life, Wyatt. There's just life. Just live it. My friends, there's no normal life. Don't feel bad about yourself when you look at other people's highlight reels on Facebook or wherever in social media, because people don't tend to post their behind the scenes bloopers and outtakes like I'm giving you right now. I'm giving you, this is the bloopers and the outtakes. That shish was freaking hard. That was a very hard several days of working with our family. And yet, our kids know that we're not wusses. Our kids know Mom and Dad stood in the fire. Mom and Dad took the heat. Mom and Dad fought for us. Mom and Dad fight for us. Mom and Dad have our backs. They know it. When they leave my house, there'll be no doubt in their mind. And when they become parents, I expect I'm going to get a lot of apology calls. I better. So I want to encourage you. Don't run from the battle. Run to it. You ever seen the movie Gladiator? You don't want to be that guy standing in the hall of the Coliseum peeing on himself. You need to man up. You need to woman up. You need to go into the battle. You need to run out into that battle. Have some good brothers and sisters by your side. Have some good prayer warriors by your side. Have some support by your side. And you go in there as one. And you fight the fight. Because there's no neutral ground. You are either gaining territory or territory is being taken from you. I hope tonight you get a little encouragement from my failures and misgivings and bloopers and outtakes. And understand that we all in this together, man. We all in this together. And so I pray that you step up to the plate and be the parent and the husband or the wife that you know you can be. Have a great evening, guys.